Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Gruszka Cytryna. Today we have with us Ana Herrero Martínez, who is now working at McLaren Automotive as Aerothermal engineer. And I would like to start with an introduction by one of her former colleagues, José Gallego Segura, former F1 lead design engineer that worked in Hispania Racing, the Formula One team, and Lotus Formula One team. I hired Ana as design engineer, junior aerodynamicist in 2017, after seeing her online portfolio. Rarely come across real and high motivated talents who stand out like Ana. I had the pleasure of having Ana in my design team for 2 years at Roborace. Ana's ability to handle multiple projects was unlike any I've seen before from a young design engineer and made a dramatic increase in the productivity level of our design team. No matter how tense a design project, Ana made sure everyone left with a smile. Ana earns my highest recommendation. Welcome to the channel, Ana. Thank you for being with us. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, really.
Fabulous. Well, with such a start, yeah, let's go at the very beginning, because you started your professional development at INTA in Madrid, which is, I see this INTA as a little bit as the Area 51 of Spain. And you work with plasma actuators for aerofoils. Can you tell us a bit about the project and the technology?
Yeah, sure. So I guess just also to give you a little bit of an introduction of myself. I am originally from Spain, and I studied aerospace engineering back in Madrid some many years ago. And just after the degree, I had this opportunity of joining INTA to complete my end of degree project. And this was with plasma actuators, which was something completely new for me, something that we didn't touch in back in the university. But the idea was to improve the performance of a 2D airfoil using these plasma actuators, which is just like a source of energy that you locate in some point across the airfoil to increase the stability. In this case, it was to delay the stall point or to increase the lift at certain angles.
Well, yeah, no more, no less. So you were shaping the air beyond the normal usage of the surface. That is, sounds a bit like science fiction.
It was I guess it was very interesting because it was not something very common. And the idea, I guess, the main point of the end of the degree project was to do something with a little bit of deep into the technology, into what is going on right now, what are the newest technologies, and so on. And we had this opportunity in the INTA, which is the Technical Aerospace Institution in Spain. And it was really amazing. I think that I learned a lot. My mentor there was an amazing engineer, Borja, that I will always remember him. And right now I have to say, like, it was like, I think more than 10 years ago, that it looked to be very easy, but I guess back then it was not easy at all, isn't it? For me, it was the most amazing thing ever. So it was really nice.
That is great. I think this INTA is, I see it, and for me personally, is a bit of a magic place to work and to be and to visit. So congratulations for that early start. When did you start in this? Is like 20.
So let me think about it. So I started university 2010, 2011, and this was around 2014, 2015, 2014. Yeah, like 10 years ago, basically. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So, and now you are working at McLaren. So, looking forward to know more about your journey from plasma actuators to McLaren Automotive. You are from Madrid, as you said, and yeah, not too much after you work in INTA, you went to UK. What motivated you to go there?
So I went there to study a master. So I knew that I wanted to go abroad after the university, and that is one of the reasons that I studied the degree, the aerospace degree in English, although it was in Madrid, it was like 100% in English. And for me that was important because I knew that after finishing the degree, I wanted to go abroad and study a master and maybe start my professional career in some other country. So I just went to the UK because I enrolled into Cranfield University to study a master in aerospace dynamics. That is where I specialized in aerodynamics. That was the main reason why I moved to the UK.
Super, super. Cranfield is a very nice place to be and to study, especially in aerospace. And then a little bit of time there, and then you started to work for Roborace in Banbury, isn't it?
Yeah, correct.
How because this is a very interesting, or was a very interesting competition, and how or what, can you tell us a bit about the competition itself, and how did you end there? How did you start there?
So I have to say that first of all, I'm very happy that you read this message from Jorge Segura. It was kind of emotional for me because he is the guy who gave me the opportunity of starting in the automotive motorsport sector. So for me, I've always said that he has been my greatest mentor, and I really owe him a lot of what I know and what I do right now. So I had this opportunity of joining Roborace, as I said, thanks to him. I have to say that this was not a job that was posted in their website. It's just that it's a company that I liked. I didn't know too much about it. I just knew that they were doing these autonomous racing cars, electrical autonomous racing cars, which sounds amazing. And I just wanted to go into that world. And I saw this guy, Jorge, in LinkedIn. I saw he was the head of design, and I said, let's gonna send him a message and see how it's going. Also, I saw that he was Spanish, and you know that's always kind of a link, something that is a start point. I just told him, like, hi Jorge, my name is Ana, I've studied this, and this. I really like Roborace, and I would like to have the opportunity of joining the company if you think that I could fit there. And he gave me opportunity. I had, of course, a couple of interviews with him and with the CEO at that point. And I started, as you read, as a design engineer, because those were the very first steps of the company, and they were on this design process. And then with the time, I started to a little bit more into the aero part of the project, and that is how I ended up specializing a bit more into what I studied back in the master, that, as I said, was aerodynamics with a main focus on CFD. So this company, Roborace, they were the aim was to have a competition with fully autonomous cars. The name of that car was Robocar, and I actually have one Hot Wheels of
super cool.
that Hot Wheel of one of the cars that we were working on. So this was the Robocar. As you see, there is no space for a driver. It's just fully autonomous. And the idea was to have this car driving around the tracks with different autonomous softwares. So it was going to be something similar to Formula E, where you have the same vehicle for all the teams, and there's just a small difference from one to another. So this was kind of the same. It was the same hardware for all the teams, and each team had to develop its own autonomous software for the car. So that was the idea. Of course, there is so much before getting to that point, and that is where I was involved now in the development of the car, also the development of the testing they call it like the test car, which was half autonomous, half manual. So it was called Deathbot. And this was a little different to Robocar because there was a space for a driver. And you could just switch from manual to autonomous. And it was the platform to test all the autonomous softwares that the different teams were working on. So that's kind of what we were doing there.
Okay, no more, no less. So starting from zero, a new platform that looked any version of the vehicle or of the different vehicles and the evolution looked amazing. The first one is almost like extracted from a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
And I think the designer was a very special one.
Yeah.
I think the name
Daniel Simon.
Daniel Simon, exactly.
Daniel Simon.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so he's an amazing designer. You've seen many things of him in different films. He's been designing many things for Thor and for many, I don't know.
Yeah, I think also for Top Gun, the
Exactly,
second one for Maverick.
Yeah, for Top
Dark
Gun
Star.
as well. So this car, Robocar, was designed by him. I have to say that it was designed before I joined, in a way that is not usually the way that things work in engineers. So this car that I just showed here was designed in 6 months from scratch. So 6 months from a sketch in a paper to have it in the garage. So the problem with that is that it didn't have too much aero behind it. It was just we wanted to look cool, but we don't really know if it is going to work out. We need it to work. So when I joined the company, I was more involved in Deathbot. That is the test platform that I was talking about. And that was a car that was designed from scratch with all the proper aero analysis, all the proper crash test and FEA studies and so on. And after that project, I had the opportunity of improving this car from a cooling perspective. So we had to make it more efficient for the battery. And I had the opportunity of leading that aero project of improving all the ducts that were into the vehicle to increase the amount of flow that was going through the radiators and how the flow was going out. So basically improving the performance of the vehicle, which was something amazing because then we were using that to run into the trucks, and that was something nice to
amazing.
do.
And this competition covered so many things that are still a very important and intense topic in the industry, in the automotive industry, like you said, an electric platform for a starter, and then the autonomous driving challenge. And it was, the aim was to solve both in really very short time frame, and you did. So congratulations for this.
Thank you.
And for all what you did to make these vehicles work. And of course, it's beautiful that you are grateful with Jose Gallego, but also he knew what he was, who he was hiring. So he saw the potential, and he was right. You materialized everything that was expected from you, and also what a courage you had by the time, just as a student that finishes and starts talking with the right people. And also congratulations for that, because this is really inspiring, and it's definitely less conventional way of starting, or at least something in my case that I could imagine, but it worked perfectly, and it shows a lot about your personality and your commitment, and which are your drivers. So that's incredible.
Yeah, I think that's something important that I've been always trying to follow. Like, for instance, when you're trying to join a company or you're looking for new jobs, I guess the conventional way of doing it is just looking for what is posted in their webs or what is jobs opportunity in LinkedIn. You apply and you just wait. I've never liked to wait for anything. I just, like, even in my personal life, wait is something that I need to work on, because I know sometimes it's important, you need to be patient, but that's not me. So although I usually apply to, if there is a job opportunity that I like, I apply, but after applying, I'm always looking, okay, who is working on that team or who is working on that company, who will be working close to me, and I just contact him, send him or her a message like, hi, I would like to introduce myself. I would like to, I don't know, talk to you. If you could share my CV with whoever you think that may be the right person. And I have to say that that has worked for me several times. So
Yeah, that's
I
great.
will recommend people to do that. When someone asks me like, hey, do you recommend me anything? I really like this company. What should I do? I always say the same, like, just look for the right person and get in contact.
That's great. And this topic about patience, I think it's really good not to have it, especially in the motorsport environment or when you are designing hypercars, because yeah, it's all about the speed and being fast. So yeah, that matches perfectly
I guess.
the profile.
I guess, yes.
That's great. I think there was this kind of a sentence that that for things to happen, you need a little bit of sense of urgency. So yeah, you have a project, you have an idea, but then if it sits there and you don't put some sort of pressure,
Yeah.
it will never happen.
Yeah.
So it's good to dream and to design an idea, but then
Absolutely.
you need something as well. You need the action,
Yeah,
and that
absolutely.
is really important as well. And yeah, as you did. And then, yeah, when this, because this competition about Roborace had a lot of impact in media, it was very linked to the Formula E.
Yeah.
Again, this connection with electric vehicles.
Yeah.
And then it stopped. I don't know, because what do you think we have lost in terms of future autonomous driving developments and things like this? Because it's like a big cut in a great development in this area.
Yeah, yeah, it was a pity. I don't really know what happened. It's true that at some point Roborace started to not go as well as it used to. I guess when management starts to disagree, or if they don't have a plan in mind that everyone is aligned with, it's very easy that a company just starts failing a little bit or going a bit more slower. So I guess that is what happened. I don't know if I mentioned, but Roborace was kind of under a bigger company, which was a rival. So the CEO was the same person for both companies. And at some point, I think after a couple of years of being part of Roborace, Roborace was merged within a rival. So a rival was a much bigger company. They were doing electrical vehicles, a car, a van, and a bus for cities. So they were like conventional electrical vehicles. And it made sense to join or to be merged within a rival, because that was allowing us, Roborace, to use all the resources that we had back there. And when that happened, it was kind of at the same time that things started to not be as clear in Roborace. I think it was a company that was doing something amazing, but it was kind of a bit ahead to its time, if that makes sense. I think that the world was still not ready for what we were trying to do there. it was difficult to find the right investors. It was difficult to find the right universities to invest on developing those softwares and all what we needed behind. So if you ask me what we lost, I guess I haven't heard about any autonomous competition after Roborace. I heard a lot about autonomous driving, isn't it? Like you hear about it everywhere, every day.
Yes.
But to have a competition with autonomous cars, wow. I mean, I haven't heard about that since Roborace anymore.
I think there is, as you mentioned, this connection with the universities maybe was missing at that time. And now, for example, there is this Formula student where they are kind of introducing the teams and the students into the electrical cars, okay? And also into autonomous driving.
Yeah.
But still is moving little by little.
Yeah.
And I think yes, what you said about not being ready, about the world not being ready, I think you are totally right. And it's a pity, definitely.
I think people didn't understand. When I was talking to my friends, though, what are you doing in Roborace? And I was trying to explain the project or the idea of the competition. It was like, but why would we want to see autonomous car driving? I want to see a pilot, you know, like the fight between two pilots to see who gets first to the line. So I guess it was something related to that. Not sure. It is a pity that at the end it didn't went as it was supposed to. But still, I think that we did some really amazing things. You can still see some of the cars in some museums. I think there is one in Miami. One of the RoboCar was for a long time in London as well. So maybe there will be something similar soon. I don't know.
I hope so. Maybe they call you.
Maybe.
They call you. That would be so super. Did you also travel to the circuits?
Sometimes,
to
yeah, sometimes. Okay. Especially with Deadbot, that was the test platform that I was talking about. For some long time, we were doing these races that was human versus car. That was super cool. So we had these different drivers. They could be even famous pilots from Formula E or from, I don't know, professional drivers, is what I mean, that they were driving for several laps, and then the vehicle was switched to autonomous mode, and it had to do the same amount of laps, and it was like, okay, who is faster, the driver or the autonomous software? And I went to the track a couple of times for that, which was amazing. And I also had the opportunity of driving the vehicle by myself. That was super cool. So we had this weekend that the company took all of the employees to one of the circuits, to one of the tracks, and we had the opportunity of testing the autonomous software. So I was just inside of the car. Okay, let's go, let's start driving. They told me, okay, so you can go for 3 laps, and then after the third one, you just stop before the line and just hold yourself. Don't hold the steering wheel, just hold yourself, and the car will start driving by itself. So for the first 3 laps, I was so happy because I was driving a racing car in a proper track. So just that was amazing. But after that, being holding myself and the car start driving by itself, I just remember getting like approaching to the first curve and thinking, start braking. Like, look, we are gonna crash. You need to start braking now. And it didn't start braking. It didn't start to brake. And of course, at some point it did, and it took the curve perfectly smooth. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like the autonomous is just much faster than the human. We need to anticipate. That's something that a autonomous car doesn't need to do. So that was a really nice experience.
Wow. Yeah, I cannot. If I imagine myself in that situation, sometimes when I'm driving and I put the cruise control,
Yeah.
and then you have to trust, and it's not going too fast, and still sometimes you have your doubts. I cannot imagine what is like going like crazy in a racetrack.
Roborace is on the grid. Here we go then.
Good job, mate. You can jump out. Thank you, everyone. That was an incredible experience. Great job, everyone.
Roborace.
Yeah.
Wow, what an interesting experience. Are you competitive? Very competitive person?
Yeah, I like competition. Maybe it's not the same as being competitive. I like competition and I like to try to perform to my best, but I don't get mad if I lose or if there is someone better than me, you know? Like, so yeah, I'm competitive, I like competition, I like challenges. So I guess if you like challenges is because you are a little bit competitive. But
Okay, that's cool. But you keep talking to the person that is next to you if
absolutely.
because some drivers do not. Some drivers do not talk to the other one
No,
until.
I do.
So in a healthy way, that's great. Yeah, that's great. You are an aerospace engineer with a great sense of curiosity. So from plasma to CFD. And since many years, you are working in automotive. What does automotive offer you to be dedicated your professional career to it, and not maybe to aeroplanes or rockets?
So I guess that once I knew, because I didn't study aerospace engineering because I was passionate about aircraft or planes, or no, I just studied aerospace engineering because I knew that I wanted to do some engineering and I didn't know what was the best option for me. Just looking to the different subjects, I thought, okay, so this aerospace looks interesting. I think there is a lot to learn there, and I think that is gonna be an option that is gonna open many doors in the future. So that is why I decided to go to aerospace. And once I was in the degree at the university, I had the subject of aerodynamics, and I was like, this is something that I really like. I always liked the speed. I've been always into, I don't know, driving fast. Like, my dad always told me, like, you need to drive more slower, you're gonna kill yourself, blah, blah, blah. But it's something that I have to say, I always driving fast. I really like motor jets. I really like whatever that is gonna give me that feeling of speed. And aerodynamics was how we are gonna make things faster, how we are gonna make things more efficient. So that is why I studied the master in aerospace dynamics and aerodynamics. And I guess that I always liked motorsport and cars in general, not from a hobby perspective. So I'm not too much into Formula One, or I'm not too much into
You don't need, Anna. You don't need to be into that because you just drive the cars that everybody looks in the TV. So
Well,
it's fair enough. It's fair
I
enough.
don't drive them so much. I mean, I just drove this deadbolt that was really nice, and I work with some of the coolest cars, but I didn't have the opportunity of driving a McLaren. Maybe that will come at some point, but that's still a dream. But I guess,
Keep it alive. Keep it alive and share it,
yeah,
please.
okay. But I guess I just had this opportunity. I thought motorsport is cool, and I think there is a lot of aerodynamics there. There is, of course, as well in aerospace, even more. At the end, an aircraft is flying because aerodynamics, not nothing else. But I just like it, and I had this opportunity with Roborace. So I guess you start in the autonomous sector, and it's very easy to continue there.
Yes. Sure. How important is imagination in your profession? Because you are working with something that is not non-tangible, not like air or even more plasma. How important is imagination?
I think a lot because it's not just that I work with something that is not tangible, but it's also that I'm doing CFD, which is, I guess, how you make a little bit tangible what is not tangible at all. So at least how it gonna helps you to visualize what is going on. But before having the CFD tool and visualizing how the flow is behaving around whatever you are studying, you need to start designing that part. And that design process has that part of imagination of, okay, how the flow is gonna behave inside this duct, or how the flow is gonna behave around this surface. And so I guess there is an important part of imagination in aero in general.
And coming back now to UK after Roborace, you enter into Arrival, focus on aerodynamics of thermal systems. What were you doing in here? Because you had a leadership position in here, also in RE later on. And can you tell us about a bit of this experience?
Sure. As I said, so Arrival was the umbrella company of Roborace. At some point, both of them merged together, and Arrival had a team just focused on simulations. So it was like a 25, 30 people team that was divided in CFD, FEA, crash, all the different like simulations that you have for the vehicles. And they were working on 3 main projects. That was a car, a van, and a bus. And I just started every day to be a little bit more involved into the van project. After a couple of years, I was promoted to the Aerothermal product lead of the van. So as that role, I was responsible for everything that had to do with the aerothermal development of this vehicle. It was for both external aero and internal aero. You can imagine that for a van, the external aero is not the most important thing. At the end, it's a very boxy shape. So the amount of things that you can do around that is very limited. And the goal was not to have any kind of downforce. It was, okay, let's minimize drag because that is gonna make the battery more efficient. We are gonna increase the range. But the main focus was on the cooling system. So at the end, it is a vehicle that is going to be driven by people and they need to be comfortable. So I was working on all the HVAC system, which is basically the demist and defrosting of the windscreen, the cabin comfort for the driver, the passenger, how the air is coming from the outside to the radiators and how it's going out of the vehicle, and then how the air is going to the cabin and how it is behaving inside. So I was responsible for that part, as being the product lead. It was not just CFD, but also a lot of wind tunnel test and track test. and the coordination that you have with the teams, the other teams of the company. It is not just a system that works for you and that's it. At the end, all the different subsystems of a vehicle are connected or interconnected between them, and I was also taking care of that communication between the different teams. So yeah, it was, I think, an amazing opportunity that I had. Is for sure when I've grown professionally the most, because you are suddenly taking a lot of responsibility and doing things that you were not doing before, not just from a technical perspective, but also from a more management point of view, and that's something that I love.
In your opinion, what makes a leader a good leader?
I think that a good leader is who knows how to ask for help. So you cannot be an expert on everything. It's impossible. But I think a good leader is the one who knows who to count on. So, okay, I'm the responsible for this project, but I just don't know everything from a technical point of view that is related to this project. So I need to rely on people, and I think that it's important to ask, not to be afraid of asking if you don't know about something, because it's always going to happen. You're always going to need help, and I think a good leader is the one who knows to ask for help and who support his team or her team in always that they need it.
Oh, what an insight about about when to ask, who to ask. It's very inspiring, and also again how to make everybody comfortable, which was already a quality that Jose Gallego also mentioned about you at your early career. So this very nice connection with your first steps, let's say. Now you are working in McLaren as an Aerothermal engineer. And how is to work there? This is a place of cult, and what makes it so special?
As you said, it's just a place of cult. It's when you walk into the office, you have all their cars there for both automotive and Formula One, and you have this huge lake in front of you with the glass, because it's just a glass building, and you just feel that you are in a special place. So then, how is to work there? I have to say that it's very different to the other companies that I've been working on, because at the end I've been more in startups, Roborace, Arrival, after Arrival, which was very similar to Arrival. Those are startups that are doing electrical vehicles, but are kind of their first years. But McLaren is a company that is already there, like everyone knows about it. It's not a startup anymore. And you can feel that in the processes, in how they work, how everything is structured. Everyone knows what is the philosophy and how to follow the different process, the steps. So it can be like something not as important, but for me it's very important, because it makes me see what makes a company to succeed, and it's the management that is behind it, how it is organized, how all the team managers, all the team leaders are like very aligned in between them, and that's something that I think is very important for a company as big as McLaren.
Can you see this connection as well somehow to how they work in Formula One, in the Formula One team? Are similar processes? I mean, the environment is totally different, still being in a very high speed pace, let's say. But do you see a relationship in both
I
areas?
guess so, because both companies are in the same building. So McLaren Formula One, McLaren Automotive is different offices, okay? And if you are in automotive, you cannot go to the Formula One. If you were in Formula One, you cannot go to the automotive ones. But everyone have lunch together, and they share the same space somehow. So I guess the way of working is similar. I've never worked in a Formula One team before, so I don't really know how is to be part of that. But I guess they try to follow the same philosophy and the same. That is why they succeed in both automotive and Formula One.
Yeah, sure. And they are now, it's a very, very happy days for
It is,
McLaren these days.
Yes.
Yeah. So congratulations again for this. Talking about success, what does what does success mean to you?
I guess to feel happy, to feel that you are where you want to be. Maybe it also depends on how is your life at that point, isn't it? At the end, I think about this a lot. It's sometimes when you are working, it feels like all your life is what you are doing in your job, and you have your colleagues in front of you, and it's very easy to think that all what they do is just to work. But then you say, okay, no, these people have a life. These people have families, or they live by themselves, but they have many friends. They have kids, or they are not, and they are gonna get married, or they are getting divorced. And that is the important part. It's not where they are working, but sometimes it looks like we spend most of our day working, and that is what is driving our life. But I think it's actually the other way around. So I think that success is when you have a good balance in both parts, personally and professionally. And like, for instance, for me at this point, the personal one is way higher than the professional one in terms of priorities. So I think that I have succeeded right now because I have a work that I like in an amazing company, but it's especially because I have the life that I want to have. I have an amazing daughter, I have an amazing husband, I live in front of the sea, so I have a good family, friends, and beside that, I have an amazing work. But I think that is succeed, is a combination of a little bit of everything.
Wow. Very good reflection. What an answer. And it's very cool that you mentioned about the balance. We love balance in the channel very, very much. And harmony as well. And yeah, it's sometimes I think we lose perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we see very, very apparent successful lives in terms of professional development and professional achievements. But then there is a lot of, well, not every time, no, not every time, but in some extreme cases, the personal lives are a complete disaster. And yeah, it's, and this combination of both is, I think, very good reflection that you make.
Yeah.
So if we talk about failure, then what is failure for you?
It will be the opposite. If you don't feel like realized, if you don't feel that you are, that when you go to sleep, there is nothing to regret, or if you go to sleep, you want to start the next day. So I think that if that doesn't happen, if you don't want the next day to start, or if you cannot sleep because you have too many problems going on or things that you are feeling bad about, then for me that will be a failure. Of course, we can talk in a more professional way. What will be a failure? So I guess a failure will be to go to work in something that I don't like. I think these people that they go to work every day, maybe because they just didn't have any other opportunity, but to do something that they don't like, wow, that must be hard, isn't it?
Absolutely. Who and what inspires you? Because you're a very inspiring person.
Thank you.
But who inspires you? Who?
I guess I think at home, both my mom and my dad, they've been always working very hard to give us the best life possible, and that's been inspiration for me. But I guess once I started like studying abroad and working and so on, my inspiration has been, well, my husband for sure, like 100%. He is the most not just talented person that as well, but he's so much into, he's so curious. He's all the time learning. Sometimes I'm like, it's like 2 a.m. in the morning, go to sleep. They stop listening to different YouTube videos. And he's all the time like with this channel, with the other, and he works in the space sector, and it's just very easy to have a conversation with him about whatever, because he's so much into different topics. And for me, that is an inspiration, because he's always pushing me to continue growing, you know, at the same time that supporting me, of course, but that will be an inspiration. And of course, my daughter as well. I have a 1.5-year daughter. You can say, well, how a daughter is going to inspire you? Well, she does. I guess because you want to give her the best life possible. That is the best inspiration that you can have to do to your best, basically. So that's it.
Well, no more, no less. Anna, no more, no less. And I totally agree with you, especially what you mentioned about your husband. In my case, it's my partner, my wife, that is an absolute support and drives you to get better and to do things and to keep dreaming.
Yeah, exactly.
As well, which is very important, I think, to dream and to find a person that allows you and creates also that space with you. So congratulations again.
Yeah, thank you. We are a couple or a partner that we really like new things, and we are always thinking what are gonna be our next steps. So I think that when we had our phone call, I told you a couple of years ago I moved to Portugal. So after 6 years living in the UK, I was working for a rival, but a rival had this huge restructuring, and they started to lose a lot of money. So they had to get rid of like half of the people that was working there. And sadly, I was one of those. So they decided to focus on production. And you can imagine simulation is something that they needed to stop. And we took this opportunity to say, okay, so let's start something new. We decided to move to Portugal, to Porto, because he had an opportunity with his company there. And I was a little bit like, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start looking for new jobs, but still we decided to go there because it was something new, a new country, new people. Also at that time, we wanted to try to have a daughter or a son, but we wanted to start trying, and still we decided, okay, let's go there, let's start there. Then I had this opportunity with RE that we didn't talk too much about it, but they gave me this opportunity as the Aerothermal lead, which has been also something incredible to work with them, I have to say. But the difference is that I was working as a contractor, as a self-employed, because as we decided to move abroad, to move to Portugal, legally it's a bit difficult to get a contract for a UK company if you're not going to be there. So the only way of getting that done was to work as a self-employed, and that is how I get this contract with RE as the Aerothermal lead. And that is how I've been working for the last 2 years, really. I've been working from home most of the time, where, as I was saying before, for me has been a success because maybe I haven't grown professionally as much as I would have done if I was in the UK, but I had a daughter and I've been capable of doing both things together, like prioritizing my family and at the same time keep working, keep improving, keep learning. And now I'm at McLaren, so
yeah, everything is you close the circle completely.
absolutely.
So you move country to in this case a great opportunity for your husband. You made you created your own company, and now you are working for McLaren. Sorry, not to mention or not to forget that you have a daughter. So wow. We can talk a little bit about motherhood, and I would like to ask you this: how does it feel to be an inspiration, especially for women that think about motherhood and at the same time are passionate about engineering, science, and supercars, like you?
So I think sometimes it is a bit difficult because if you want to focus on your personal life, on your kids, you know that you need to spend most of your time there. And that means that you are not gonna, you cannot take as much responsibility at your job as if you didn't have a kid or as if you were in the office every day. So, but still, I guess it's just a matter of time, and it depends like what is the point of at your life in this moment and how you prioritize it. So I have to say, like for instance, in my case, for the last 2 years, I've been obviously focused in my daughter and doing more technical role, let's say, than management as I was doing at the end of Arrival. But I know that in the close future, I'm gonna be able of going back to focus more on my career and start growing again from a management perspective. But still, the thing is, you just need to think, this is what I would say to the other woman, like you just need to sit down and think, okay, what is the most important thing for me right now? Is this or is the other? And just follow that without regretting it. Yes, if you decide that right now I have a small kid, maybe a baby, but I have this incredible opportunity at work that is gonna ask me a lot, but it's also gonna allow me to grow so much. Look for the support that you need at home and go for that opportunity if you think that is the right thing, because there is no right or wrong. It's just how you feel it.
Nice. Wow. Yeah, I need to make a pause because it's really, really deep what you mentioned, and it's very important. And yeah, what a message. And I also like a lot this there is no right or wrong, and it's how you feel about it, and it's a little bit connected with what you were talking about success, and yes, that is super. Very, very, very nice philosophy, and yeah, I think you've already mentioned what, but maybe we can talk again about it. Which has been the biggest challenge so far about becoming a mom, and now combining it with working, for example, now at McLaren with your own company. By the way, the name of your company is Eolo
That's
Dynamics.
it, Eolo Dynamics. That's it. I've been always into the ancient philosophy, in the Greek philosophy, and Eolo was the name of the god of the wind, and that is how I got this instead of aerodynamics, Eolo Dynamics.
That's super. But there's a lot of philosophy as well in the name. It was not a name that magically appeared.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I started this company when I had to become a contractor, a self-employed, and I've been working through this Eolo Dynamics project since then. So for McLaren, I'm working through Eolo Dynamics, and for RE, I've been also working through this company. But I guess going back to your question on the challenge as in the motherhood, well, for me, the most difficult part has been like you need to give up or you don't need to, but I decided to give up to some of my professional development, let's say. I've been working from home most of the time for the last 2 years, maybe going back to the UK and going to the office every couple of months, but still sometimes you feel lonely. You are working there by yourself, you don't have the same connection with the rest of the team. You need to make an extra effort to keep that connection and to keep updated with all the latest news, all what is going on in the company. So I think that has been the biggest challenge. I also know that if I was in the UK and going like to the office more often, I could have a role with way more responsibility in terms of management and leadership, because it's something that I really like, that I was starting to do in Arrival, and that I've not been doing for the last 2 years because I decided to prioritize in being at home with my daughter and doing the work that I was capable of doing from home, because it's a reality. You cannot be the director of a company if you are working from home all the time. I have some friends that, I don't know, the other day they were talking about it somewhere, I cannot remember where, but it was like this woman saying, I don't know why I cannot be the CEO of a huge company if I'm working from home with my 3 kids. I'm sorry, you cannot, because if you go to the job description, you're going to have some points there describing what you need to do. And that means that you need to be traveling abroad to see customers, that you need to be in the office at least 3-4 days per week to go to the meetings, that you need to. It is what it is. And the people that is doing that, I'm pretty sure that they are giving up or they are doing an extra effort to compatibilize that with their personal life. Or maybe they cannot have that personal life that you have right now. So I guess that has been the challenge, that I had to slow down a little bit in my professional development, but I don't regret it at all, of course.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, wow, that makes even more difficult to give the step, but also at the same time to be very, very sure about what you are doing and in which context you are. And then you are also thinking about the next step. So it's kind of a pause that you are doing here somehow, but it's still with a very interesting job.
Unbelievable. I can't find words to describe. This is genius at work.
So there are some questions as well from the audience. The first question is from Rocío, and she's a great supporter of the channel. So hello, Rocío. What would you say to young girls to follow an engineering career?
Just go for it. I don't think there is any extra challenge if you are a girl to go into motorsport or into automotive sector or engineering in general. It could, maybe some long time ago, it could look like that. I think that today, if that is what you like, go for it. There are gonna be more men than women in your classroom, probably. There are gonna be more men than women in your job, 100%. But still, if that is what you like, go for it. I think that today, thankfully, there is no problem with that at all.
Fantastic.
Which doesn't mean, sorry, just like a small point there, doesn't mean that you are not gonna find some people that are gonna underestimate you because you are a woman, but not because of the sector. It's just because you are gonna find those kind of like biased people everywhere, doesn't matter which sector. But I would like to emphasize that from my personal experience, that is not a problem related to the sector. It's just that sometimes you will find people like that. I had to face those people more times than what I would like to. But I really think that I've never blamed the companies for that. Never. Because the companies always showed me all the respect and the same rights than the rest of the employees. So if you like engineering, you like automotive, you like motorsport, whatever you like, go for it. Yeah.
Go for it. Super. This connects very well with also a question from Rocío, that what do you say to these women that are navigating careers where there is still unbalanced representation of minorities, and yeah, I think
just that. Yeah, just that. Nothing different to what I said. Thankfully, I also found these other people that always trust me and gave me opportunity, like Jorge, for instance, that you mentioned him at the beginning. Yeah, I think that you will find some stupid people, but doesn't matter where. It's not a matter of the sector, it's just a matter of the person itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, you have to search the right people and that are there to see your potential, and this will happen eventually. I think, well, I'm sure it will happen. We have another question, also from a great supporter of the channel, Aurora, and her question is, how will you motivate the new generations that have the dream of working in motorsport or with supercars when they are even struggling to find a good job in general? So it's kind of, how I see this question is, are we still allowed to dream?
Absolutely. I mean, always. I think, as I said at the beginning, if you're struggling to find a job, maybe because right now it is a reality, it's not the best time in the world for the companies in general. Like, many companies are struggling, and that can make difficult to find a job, or at least the job that you want to, but still keep fighting for it, keep dreaming. And as I said, really, I think world is about contacts. If you have the right contacts, you will have the right opportunities. So don't be afraid of introducing yourself to someone that you think that could help you to find what you want, because sometimes it could look like, well, I just finished my degree and I'm not gonna get in contact with this person that has been working in my dream company for 15 years, because what I'm gonna say, doesn't matter. If he or she doesn't answer, it is up to them. But you don't lose anything for trying. Just send them a message, get in contact, say what you want. No, but look, there is no job posted in LinkedIn or in their web. Maybe because they don't know that they need you. And once they talk to you, they say, look, this is a really nice girl to work with, or a really nice guy, doesn't matter, no? But in this case, because it was a lady who was asking. So I will say that life is about contacts and be in the right place at the right time.
Super, super. And she was also curious about if your career up to today at McLaren has been difficult to get there, or maybe not.
Has been challenging. I don't know if it's difficult. It is what I wanted. So I guess I've never thought about it as it's being difficult, because it's always that it's something that I've always enjoyed, trying to follow my intuition or follow the next steps of what I wanted to do. So I wouldn't say difficult. For sure, no one has given me anything for free. That's for sure. I've been always fighting for what I wanted, and maybe I had a little bit of luck, because at the end, it's true. Luck is part of life, and maybe you are amazing, you do everything you can do, and you don't have no luck at all. But still, I think that if you know what you want and you fight for that, you will get to that point. So it's been a challenge, but something that I've enjoyed a lot, and that I will continue enjoying that for sure.
Yeah, no, I like what you mentioned about the luck. Sure, I think you need luck in life, but also you need to be prepared to receive that luck. If you are not there, you are not showing up, you lost the opportunity.
That's what I was saying about being in the right place at the right time. Yes, but you need to be there, and to be there, you need to look for it. Things are not gonna just show in front of you. No, you need to look for that, and then maybe you will have a little bit of luck, and it will happen. But you need to be prepared, and you need to look for that. So that is the only thing that you need to worry about. Everything else will come, I'm sure.
Super. Couple of more questions also from the audience. Ana, this comes from Agnieszka Martinez, who is not very far now that we are talking. She said, often we look into what we should improve. And instead, I would like to ask, what's the coolest thing about you?
Well, it's true. If you ask me, well, what you don't like about you, or what are your weakness, it's easy to answer that. But when you have to talk about what you are good at, we always feel a little bit like if you were bragging at yourself, isn't it? So, but well, if she's asking, I will say that the coolest thing about me is that I think I'm very optimistic, and I'm always trying to see the positive things of everything that is going on. And I give that vibe to the people that is around me. I'm always trying to do that in my personal life, but also at work. And that's something that I heard a lot that people liked about me. I'm always trying to smile, or if I'm mad, I'm gonna say that's true because I'm very sincere. So if I don't like something, but still, I try to be very optimistic and try just to see what are the positive things. I think there is always something good going on. And if there is a bad moment, that is for some reason, and something better will happen after. That is kind of my philosophy and what I always try to think, like, okay, maybe right now this is being so bad, it's really having a bad time, but this will open, as we say in Spanish, if a door closes, a window will open. So I think that is what I will say about myself.
That's so true. That's super. And the last question also from her, which is a classic question here in the show, that started with Agnieszka. Is there something I did not ask you that you would like to be asked?
That's a difficult question. I think we talk a lot. So I don't know. I guess actually a couple of days ago, I was having this chat with my mom, and we were talking about, well, making decisions when you need to decide between two different things. And she asked me, okay, what made you to decide between two options when you are working? So if you have, I don't know, like you need to make a decision about if you are gonna work on this project or in this other one, how do you decide? My answer was that I usually tend to follow my intuition, which is not aligned with engineering a lot, because as engineers, we are very, like focused, stubborn, and our head is like an Excel sheet where everything is so,
Yes.
and I'm like that. But at the same time, if I thought this was interesting, like if I need to make a decision about whatever between two different options, sometimes, most of the times, I tend to follow my intuition, and that worked for me, at least up to now. I don't know in the future, but
Super. Fantastic. What also very interesting thinking and philosophy. And I think we can finish the interview here, Ana. Thank you so much for being here, for making the time for this space. I hope you enjoyed. I personally have learned a lot from you, and I'm sure that the audience as well will have a lot of reflections and inspiration from
Yeah.
knowing you.
thank you.
So many thanks, and looking forward to know your next steps, whatever they are, and the next McLaren on the road that will have a little bit of your soul,
Yes.
on wheels. And yes, I would say thank you again, and see you soon.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure